Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. We have another edition of Ask the County. Joining us this morning, as always, we have Saginaw County Treasurer Tim Novak. Tim, good morning.
Good morning today.
All right, so today we're talking about being prepared for emergencies. So the Saginaw County Health Department has a 12-month citizen preparedness program.
Say that twice or three times.
I know, right? What is that?
So it's it's focused on the citizen preparedness. So this is for us folks at home, things we can do. And they kind of highlight a different topic every month.
Okay.
For you to kind of, it's not something you would have to do all at once. And so it's easy. They have them in little fact sheets with, options and bullet points. So it's easy for folks like me to follow and understand, which is cool. Yeah. So it's super cool. And then I thought, like, in this instance, they're talking a little bit like life without power, that we have a snowstorm coming. And I thought, well, maybe this is a good one to, like, kind of highlight. And if you're thinking about, like, what do you do, we talk about being prepared, right? So what essential supplies might you have?
Yeah.
So think about, like, flashlights with batteries, a portable radio, which nobody has portable radios anymore, right? But they're battery operated that allow you to listen to the news if your, cell phones and things were to go out.
Right.
Maybe we used to listen to baseball games when we were kids on those things, right? At least a gallon of water per person and some kind of ready-to-eat food. I'm thinking like canned goods.
Yeah.
Things you wouldn't have to warm up. So maybe, the fruits and vegetables type things like that would be good types of items to have. And then, like, what things should you do beforehand? So, like, if regularly back up your computer files and things like that, or back up your cell phone. If, in the event of something were to blow up or your computer was to totally fry, you want that. And there's a fun one. If you have an electric garage door opener, find the manual release button outside. And maybe do that during the warm weather months.
Yeah.
So you know where it's at and be prepared to see if you can unlatch it. And some of these garage doors are super huge.
Yeah.
And you might not be able to open the door on your own, which means you can't get your car out at times if your car's inside. So maybe have a plan, maybe there's a neighbor that could come over and help you with your door and things like that. That's kind of a big one. Have at least one phone with no power or doesn't require power, which I don't have, but, I'm guilty.
I don't even know those exist.
And then keep your car with like a half a tank of gas, so things to think of.
Yeah.
And then maybe during a blackout. So unplug, when your power goes out, unplug anything you were running. So any appliances, electronics, unplug those. Okay. Because if it all kicks back on, it'll be a kind of a power surge. Leave a light turned on, so you know when the power does come back on that it's on. Leave the doors of the refrigerator and freezer closed. It's like 4 hours is kind of the rule of thumb that those things could stay in there. Condiments, as long as they stay below 50 degrees, but if it's above 50 degrees for like 8 hours, you'd even have to get rid of those. So just keep the doors closed on those kinds of things. Listen to the radio again. And remember layers of clothing if it's cold out, where the layers of warm clothing, kind of thing like that. So it's kind of the before, during, and after, kind of always be prepared. And, a life without power is no fun.
Not at all. So these are pretty much, this is like just one topic of this program for this month as well. So I'm assuming it's like a class you go to?
Nope, there's just a series of these. They're right on the health department's website.
Oh, okay.
And you can tab them right down. They have January through December. You can pick whatever month you want to do. And topics might be first aid CPR, creating a plan. Maybe if you create a emergency plan, emergency supply kit, saving personal items and keepsakes, kind of ways you can preserve them in the event that things do happen.
Right.
And maybe a family contacts and medical information. So things to kind of do every month. And then once again, you can maybe share this with your family, make it kind of a fun kind of a thing or a group thing. And I think kind of the key is, if the more we can handle ourselves, we free communication lines like 911 and emergency personnel to really take care of those things that are really emergencies. So maybe there's things that we can handle on our own. Don't call 911 for trivial types of things. There's things that you can kind of do on your own.
Good stuff.
If you're prepared. That's
right. You got to be prepared. Is that pretty much the big importance of this message, or why else is it so?
Yeah, it's kind of the point. Is that do this ahead of time, right? So have these types of things ready ahead of time. Understanding what your escape routes are. Understanding where your neighbors are, and maybe what neighbors need help, right? Maybe you're the helper in this one and not in the need to help, and it just depends. And so focus on the preparedness piece, and if you have any questions, the health department has an emergency preparedness coordinator, Saginaw County has an emergency preparedness coordinator, so there's websites and phone numbers that you can call if you have any questions, but you don't have to do it all at once.
Yeah.
That's kind of the key of the monthly thing.
Okay.
You can kind of just pick and choose how you put together, and you'll be ready in case of all different types of events. In this instance, we pick Life Without Power, but there could be all kinds of other ones.
All right, good to know. Is there anything else that you want to share this morning?
No, just be careful out there, and it looks like we've got a weather event on our way, and you know, be prepared. Keep an eye on your neighbors. I think that's kind of maybe that's the other message here. Be prepared, but also keep an eye on your neighbors that might need an extra hand.
Perfect. Tim, it's good to see you. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. If you have any questions that you want to ask the county as well, make sure you send them to us, WNEM at WNEM.com.